Hey, I'm Andy.
And I'm Brittany, and we're here to introduce you to our friend, Doster Harper.
Brittany, have you ever noticed that Doster is like a really big guy? Not physically, obviously. But everything Doster does, he's going to do it big. For example, Doster is a big black coffee guy. Like if you even offer him cream or sugar, there's a really good chance that he's never gonna talk to you again.
Doster is also a really big honeybee guy. He could talk for hours about pollinators to anyone, anywhere, including an Uber driver in the middle of Washington, D.C.
Doster is also one of the biggest servants that I know. He's always seeking ways to help other people out, and is even gonna serve our country one day in the United States military.
Doster has the biggest heart that I have ever seen. His love for his family, friends, FFA members everywhere, and of course the Atlanta Braves is unmatched.
And of all that, Doster's big in his faith,
Integrity,
dedication,
humility,
and it is our greatest honor to introduce to you today the biggest guy that we know.
and your National FFA President,
Doster Harper.
When you fear, when you fail, when you feel you're gonna fall, follow your heart and always believe in the underdog. When you fear, when you fail, when you feel you're gonna fall, follow your heart and always believe in the underdog.
This was it. The moment we had been training hard all season long for, and we were the underdogs. It was the Georgia High School Region 4A Track and Field Championship. And if you can't tell by these chicken legs that I call arms, and by my actual chicken legs for legs, I was on the track team. And our team, the Eastside Eagles, had fought hard all day long, pushing hard in each individual event until we reached the grand finale of them all, the 4x400 meter relay. A relay event involving 4 runners who each run 400 meters around the track. So, right before the 4x400, we're getting ready, and Coach Tyndall walks up to me and says, "Harper, I'm calling you up to be on the 4x400 meter backup team. Mom, I made it to the big leagues." So, we toe the line. All the pressure is on our team's shoulders, and I'm the first runner to go for our team. On your marks, get set, go! And we take off. Everything that happened after that was a blur, except for me. But one thing I remember as clear as day: perseverance. Look, if anybody in here isn't a big sports fan, that is totally okay. But let me fill you in on a little secret. Backup teams are not supposed to be good, especially the last-minute additions to them. But after our teammates had fought so hard all day long, as tired as my teammates were, after pushing through each one of their individual events throughout that entire day, my teammates pushed me to keep running. Keep running. This concept keeps showing up for me, and not just in track or sports, but in all aspects of life. And it has a lot to do with perseverance. And perseverance has a lot to do with success. Allow me to explain. One of the biggest realizations I've ever had about perseverance came right after my favorite FFA memory from high school. My chapter officer team had just held our last chapter banquet at the Newton College and Career Academy, and we took off our jackets for the final time. Right after that, my ag teacher and FFA advisor, Dr. Marcus Pollard, walked up to me and handed me a handwritten note. And in that note, he included a poem written by Rudyard Kipling, which ended with this line: "If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, then yours is the earth and everything that's in it." My first thought: what on earth is an unforgiving minute? I still ask myself that question a lot, but here's my personal take on it. Life is hard. And an unforgiving minute is one of those hard life moments that we all go through. That last minute of your math test where you try to frantically cram in 3 more problems. That last minute of your career or leadership development event where you still got 15 leaves left to identify or an entire speech to write, or that middle minute of your Saturday afternoon jog where the thought starts creeping into your head of whether you want to keep on running or if you want to quit. Those minutes, those life moments, they're stressful and they are tough. But if you can fill that entire minute down to the last second with every ounce of effort you've got, then yours is the earth. Now I know what you're probably thinking right now. All right, Doster, sounds wonderful, but it's called an unforgiving minute for a reason. How do I persevere through that unforgiving minute in real life? Well, I certainly don't have all the answers. Wish I did. But I have found 2 things to be true of perseverance. We can't do it alone, and we must find what makes it worth it for us. One place in my life where I have found many unforgiving minutes in life so far is college. Although some moments have been pretty tough, I have enjoyed all of my years so far at the University of Georgia. Go Dogs! And some of the most significant have come while participating in Army RTC at UGA. In Army RTC, I participate on our Ranger Challenge team, which basically means I get to participate in workouts with a smaller group of my classmates who are a whole lot bigger, stronger, and faster than me, so that's fun, and they definitely push me to be a whole lot better. Every year, our Ranger Challenge team commits to an all-night-long 20-mile road ruck march with this guy on our backs. For those who may be wondering, something I found statistically to be sure of that night, 20 miles is a really long way. But our march started around 9 o'clock that night. We left from a parking garage on the east side of UGA's campus. Our route circled around the entire city of Athens, Georgia, and we were scheduled to end around 7 the next morning. First things first, we got to go through our bag, check everything off, and make sure we've got everything we need. So we go through it, check everything off the list, all totaling up to the required limit of 45 pounds. Yep, I'm definitely going to cry at some point tonight, but let's rock and roll. We get ready, get the bags on our backs, and we step off. We get about 3 miles in, and 2 bad things start happening at this point. I'm hurting, and I'm bored. So we start to make conversation to pass time. I'm walking next to my best friend in college, Miles Demings, and Miles starts to make the conversation and the march a little bit more bearable. We pass halfway around midnight, and at around 3 or 4 in the morning, we get to the home stretch. We reach mile 17. We decide to take one last stop at Hurdy Field before bringing this thing home. So we get to the field. There's a fountain right there on North Campus. We throw our bags on the ground, and we all of a sudden collapse. We stretch out just a little bit, but at this point, we are far too tired to do anything much more than that. So I lay on my back, and I start to notice the stars up in the sky above me. My legs and my feet are still hurting like I just stepped on about 1,000 Legos barefoot, but I thought, I want more of this. And that moment was odd because as much physical pain as I was in, as much as I wanted that march to be over, I didn't want this particular moment to end. I didn't want to leave these people that I'm with in this place that means so much to me and has helped me grow so much in life. In that unforgiving minute, I realized it was worth it to me. Of course, that time came though when we had to get back up, so try to do it, and no siree, no can do, not happening today. I wanted to lay back so much, but of course, my friends in RTC are just too good of a friends to let me do that. So Miles extends his hand, he hoists me up, and Miles walked right there alongside of me every step of the way until the very end. And Miles helped me realize in that unforgiving minute, I was not alone. Who is the Miles in your life? when we go through challenging and stressful points in our lives, when we get knocked down and don't even want to get back up, who gives you the lending hand and helps you finish those last few seconds of the unforgiving minutes run? Y'all, we can't persevere on our own. Find that person, that group of people, that community or support system that pushes you through those challenging circumstances in life. Maybe for you, it's your best friend, your FFA officer team, your family, your faith, a sport, or a walking trail at a local nearby park that just helps you get away from the harsh realities of life. When we go through an unforgiving minute, the first step to perseverance is knowing that we can't persevere on our own. Find that group of people, that support system, and know that it is not only okay, but it is essential to lean on those people for a helping hand when you need it the most. One of the communities in my life where I'm so grateful to have found so many great lifelong friends is the FFA. Over this past year, I've gotten to travel to some incredible states, from my home state in Georgia to the Commonwealth in Virginia to the arid desert of Arizona. And along the way, I have met some of the best young people that this country has to offer. And of course, I've gotten to travel to pretty much every other state you could think of through a Zoom screen. You know, I gotta admit it definitely was not ideal at first. I mean, there's a whole lot of unforgiving minutes on Zoom, am I right? But I gotta give it to it. In those harsh moments where I wanted to be in person so badly with FFA members, Zoom sometimes actually ended up being one of the things that I needed the most. One of those times came on a virtual chapter visit with the Miramonte FFA chapter in California. It was the heart of National FFA Week, and we had finally made it to Thursday night. At around 10 o'clock that night, because I'm on the East Coast and they're on the West, I log on to my laptop at my cubicle, and we start this chapter meeting. Now, let me remind you, at this point in time, back in February, the state of California was still on a very severe 100% lockdown. For their National FFA Week celebration, every member of the Miramonte FFA chapter was celebrating everything that we love about this organization from their own homes, from a tiny little square on a computer screen. And I'll admit, in that moment, I was feeling down. I mean, I wanted to be with those FFA members in person so badly on the West Coast. And I was tired because, y'all, Zoom fatigue was getting to me. Miramonte FFA members did not let it get to them, though. We log onto this Zoom call. We start immediately talking and making fun conversation. We're laughing at each other. And then we finally make it to the grand finale of the chapter meeting, Among Us. Do I have any video game fans in the house? All right, y'all are my people. If you're not a big video games person, or if you've never heard of the game Among Us is an online interactive game that can be played with anybody in the world, no matter where you're at. This means that if I log on to this game with the same game code as 10 other people in the country, we can all play in the exact same game at the exact same time, all while talking with each other and chatting inside the game. And the game didn't start off fantastic for me, but I thought, I'll get better. Wrong! Those FFA members showed no mercy. They kicked my butt in that game. And we had a lot of fun, and we got to know each other, and it was a great event. Even though I lost, and I'm a very competitive person, I enjoyed getting to hang out with those Miramonte FFA members so much. In that moment, though, Miramonte FFA gave me this selfless reminder that I needed. That even when it's hard, even when it's tiring, the work we do in this organization is worth it. Miramonte FFA members accepted their responsibilities as leaders to be a light for someone in a dark day in a dark place. Miramonte FFA gave me the selfless reminder that I needed, that even when it's not easy, even through a global pandemic, this organization changes lives. They helped change mine on that day. And in that unforgiving minute that I was going through on that day, they reminded me that this work is worth it. What are you doing to make an unforgiving minute worth it for someone else? Maybe you'll make it worth it for your sibling by hitting them ground balls in the front yard before they have a sports tryout come up at the end of the week. Maybe you'll make it worth it for your best friend who just had a really long, stressful day at school while being on Zoom or in the classroom all day long by taking them a walk on the trail and just being a listening ear for them as they rant. Maybe you'll make it worth it for your FFA officer teammates or your FFA competition team's teammates by sending them a handwritten note of encouragement just to let them know how proud you are of them before that event that you're so nervous about comes up at the end of the week. Sports tryouts can be so challenging, but siblings and teammates that have our back make them worth it. School presents so many stressful times in our lives, but friends who understand what we're going through and a reminder that we're getting a good education makes those stressful times worth it. FFA competitions and events can be so nerve-wracking at times, but the premier leadership, personal growth, and career success that we experience during them and the lifelong relationships we make throughout them make them worth it. Over the past year, I've gotten the opportunity to travel and meet some of the best young people that this country has to offer. And I want to thank you all for making this journey worth it for me. Anthony Cosio, a chapter president from San Luis FFA in Arizona, made his chapter better during a difficult time by absolutely killing it in the social media game. Samantha Burchill, a Green Hand FFA member from North Dakota, shows her faith through her actions every single day and inspired me by sharing how she persevered through a loss she had the first time she competed in the agri-science fair. Orville Hernandez, the 2020-2021 Puerto Rico FFA State Secretary, persevered against all barriers by becoming the first ever Puerto Rican to serve as National President of the Students of Agronomy, Soils, and Environmental Sciences Organization. FFA members all over this country like Anthony, Samantha, and Orville make their communities, they make others, and they make our agriculture industry, and more importantly, this organization so much better every single day because they persevere through their struggles. And they know that when they persevere, they help others get back up when they get knocked down, and they make struggles worth it for others. On that day, back in high school, when I finally got to run the 4x400 meter relay, I finished my individual lap in just around a minute. And let me tell you, it was an unforgiving minute to say the least. But I started a journey on that day, though, of learning a very important lesson, which has shown up for me time and time again ever since. As I've gotten to learn from my track teammates, from my buddies in Army ROTC, and from FFA chapters and members all across this great nation, I'm growing to understand that maybe this life isn't about how fast you run, but how hard you run with every last second of the unforgiving minute that you're given. Because when you give that unforgiving minute every ounce of effort you've got, then yours is the earth. And that's when we become the best version of ourselves that we could be. And that's when we make a real difference in the lives of others. FFA members, perseverance is hard, but perseverance equals success. Don't lose heart. Don't give up. Count every trial, knockdown, setback, and struggle as joy, knowing that all of these struggles produce perseverance. Perseverance produces character, and character gives us hope. When you commit to perseverance in this blue jacket, you become capable of filling the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. When you commit to perseverance in this blue jacket, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. FFA members, when the unforgiving minute gets tough, just keep running.
Keep running, don't lose heart, don't you give up now, don't turn around, you've got to find a way somehow. Keep reaching, keep fighting, the pain cannot be better. There will be yours, waits in store for those who just keep running. Yeah, don't turn aside, no call.
Das the boss, Harper. Man, where would we be without your trusty dad jokes those constant Atlanta Braves updates, and those reminders of your Georgia pride. Well, you're more reliable than an all-star special at Waffle House, and we appreciate you more than you appreciate your taters, smothered, covered, and scattered. This year, you've led by example, and we're all made better by your faith and principles. And though you may have been quiet from time to time, your wisdom and your insight always spoke volumes when we needed it the most. Your ability to focus on members throughout the course of this year is a testament to your character and your humility. And I say this without a doubt, you have been the president that our team and this organization needed this year. Thank you for teaching us the importance of peace and love, but most importantly, love, brother. No matter how far apart, we will always be together at heart. Love Miriam, David, Anna, Paxton, and Artha. FFA members and guests, your national president, Doster Harper.
Keep it running.